Hello, my name is Jeremy, and this is the Pocket Operator PO-28 robot. It is the sixth of the seven pocket operators that Teenage Engineering has released, and it is a little chiptune melodic sampler, or excuse me, not sampler, synthesizer sequencer thing that allows you to make little jams of a chiptune variety. It's pretty cool. I think it's my second favorite after the PO-20 Arcade, just because it allows you to put in a little drum sequence, have one melodic sequence recorded, and then play another sequence on top of that. So yeah, let's get into how it works. If you've never seen one of these things, I'll walk you through what it does and what all the buttons do. These 16 pads right here, these are for playing, selecting sounds, playing effects, and step sequencing too. This is your sound select button. By selecting, holding it down, and selecting a sound, you can now play that sound and record that sound. You can also affect its parameters. We'll get into that bit. This is the pattern select button. By holding this, you now have 16 patterns that you can choose from. You can also chain patterns. So if you hold this and push a button and then let go, you've selected that pattern will now play. If you hold down this button and select multiple patterns, it will play those in chain. You can also press any pattern button more than once, and it will play that pattern more than once before moving on to the next one. So you can create like sort of almost like verse, chorus, verse kind of things or complex sequences by playing with pattern chaining on this. This is the BPM button. It also doubles as the volume button. By holding it down, you are able to change the BPM by using the B knob. We're going to go for about 97, I guess. Sure, why not? Holding it down and using the A knob increases shuffle or swing. So if you want more shuffle or swing, that's where you're going to do that. Holding this down and pressing one of these buttons will increase or decrease the volume. If you hold this down and press the upper left one, you're going to get a very low volume. If you press all the way down here, you're going to get it to max volume. So that's how you do that. Glide, while you're playing, if you hold down glide and press a note, you'll get that awesome glide sound. No glide? Glide. I like glide. This is the effects button. We'll get to it more in a bit once we have a pattern recorded, but basically if you hold this down and press any of these buttons, you will get an effect that's applied to the whole thing. Play and record. All right, so now that we kind of know what the buttons do, how do we get a sequence going? Well, first of all, we're going to select a blank pattern, and you can tell it's blank because there's no light above its little knob here. Hopefully you can see that little red LED blinking. There's a little micro drum set here. So we're going to hit sound select and select that drum set to now have access to those drum sounds. Now, if I hit play, the thing starts and I can't hear it at all. I can't even hear a metronome. So how do I know where the beat is or anything like that? Well, we're going to have to make basically a little metronome for ourselves. So we'll just pick a sound, whatever. We're going to press this button once, the record button once, and we're going to get this little circle and a square indicator that pops up right here. That now means that you can step sequence as opposed to live play. So these are now the 16 steps of a pattern, and if you press each one, then you've just now entered those notes on that pattern. So I just put something on each downbeat. Cool. So now we have a basic metronome. What if I want to live play something in? Let's find the sounds that we might want to use. So to live play, while the sequence is playing, while you've hit play, hold this down, and now you can play any of these notes, and it will record them. So now the drum machine in this is monophonic. So if I play any note on top of another one, it will choke that note out, and you'll only hear the one that you played last. But I would like a little snare on here, so I'm going to hit play and then hold this down and play the snare on the backbeat. Cool. So now we have a rudimentary beat, and I can go into a different sound and record that and then play around with it a little bit more. So I'm going to hit sound select, and I'm going to go maybe pick a sound. So it says low and high because there's two different melodic lines that can be played. Or one that can record and one can be played. These are sort of like your lower register sounds, and these are your higher, more like maybe solo-oriented sounds. So we're going to pick this kind of like mellow sound and use that. All right, I kind of like that. So we're just going to use that as a basis for our melodic pattern here. So we're going to hit play, and then I'm going to hold this down and live play that. All right, so you'll notice a couple things. One, the sound changed. And two, the pattern didn't really get entered like, exactly as how I played it. The latter thing, I'm not really sure what's going about it. It might be specific to my pocket operator. Maybe the buttons are a little wonky or something with this case. Not really sure. But the sound changing is annoying. So what you need to do, turn on the step record thing, hold this down now, and pick the sound that you want this recorded sequence to be. There we go. Now it's back to how we had. A little strange, but that's just how it is. So now I have a sound recorded. I have that sound selected. Let's say I wanted to automate some parameter changes to it. The A and the B knob represent parameter changes that can happen to any of these sounds. They affect the sound's timbre, decay, something like that. So we're going to hit play, hold this button down, and then mess with these two knobs and see what happens. Now, when you let go of this, as long as you haven't done something which I'll show you in a second, all the automation will stay. So we just automated the decay and the sort of the vibrato of that sound, which is pretty cool. If you want to get rid of the automation, what you need to do is put it in play mode, hold this down, twiddle a knob that you've automated that you want to get rid of the automation on, and leave it there for the duration of the pattern, and it will get rid of it. All right, so we just got rid of the decay or release automation. We're going to put it back because I kind of like it. Cool. All right. So now that we have the one melodic low line and the little drum machine line, we can actually play another line on top of this, which is one of the things that makes this particular pocket operator unique. So you can actually kind of like have a little chiptune jam with yourself. So what we're going to do is hit play again, and I'm going to pick a sound to play over this by holding the sound select button and picking a sound. Pretty gosh darn cool. All right, so we know what glide does. We've recorded some pattern. Let's play around with this effects. The effects, when you are in play mode and that pattern is playing, if you hold down this button and play these pads, you will get an effect that is applied to the entire sound. And these effects can be triggered momentarily per step, and they will actually remain, the sequence of effects that you've created will remain persistent until you clear them by holding down the effects button throughout the duration of the pattern or patterns that you're working with. So let's give that a try. Anyways, you can see how quickly and fun it is to record a little bass line and a little drum machine line and then have something to play over. Like, this is why this is my second favorite one after the arcade. It's just a lot of fun to take on its own and play around with. And if you use the pattern chaining with, different melodic changes and stuff like that, you can actually make full songs in this thing, little chiptuney songs. So yeah, that is the Pocket Operator PO-28 robot. And I hope this has been informative. Have fun.